Sean Clement here with Ian Fraser, and I tell you, he said something, right? You remember our last fitting when we did the right-handed gapping, and he says, Sean, I think you have the wrong shaft. And he just hit me with a sledgehammer.
Right at the end of it.
That's my whole life he's talking about here. So the S300, you were mentioning, number one, because, see, TXG, this man right here, will not accept the runt of the litter. It's always the pick of the litter. And he's explaining to me that the S300s are just a little too wide in their tolerances.
Yeah, that's their generic shaft. That's their staple line. But there is a tour issue line. Yeah. So there's the hand-picked, weight-sorted tour issue line, which is the stuff that only goes to the tour, basically. Because the best players in the world don't want inconsistencies in weight or anywhere way in which they can get that.
Hence, tour experience golf.
Correct.
Right? Tour experience. Yep. This is the real deal. And he's telling me, Sean, he says, because he just fit me with 2 6-irons that are fitting inside the gapping that we've done.
Yep.
An S400 Tour Edition, which you say is very similar to the S300.
Very similar in weight.
Very similar weight. Maybe a fraction stiffer?
A fraction slightly heavier is where you'll find it. You'll find it just a few grams
I love
heavier.
the heft of it, yes. Yeah. And then he says, is the grip fine? You want me to put a little more? I'm going, what do you mean, make a bigger grip? He says, yeah, we'll just blow this one off, put a layer, and put it back on. Like, these guys are serious folks, okay? So when you do a fitting, nothing is left to chance.
We want to get as close to that final assembled product as possible, so that when we hand you that set over, it's exactly like the one you tried, because we're doing everything we can here to control the variables, and that's what's going into it. There's nothing worse than that experience when you're on the driving range and you're trying a driver and you love the flight and it's feeling fantastic. Then you place the order, your driver arrives, and it feels nothing like the one you tried. It's nothing like it. So if any variables that we can control, we do, which is why we have all the equipment that we do, and we have our demo matrix set up the way that it is.
Brilliant. Okay. So I have an S400 Tour Edition.
Your Ping Eye blade. My
Ping Eye blade. And we're going to do that stock draw.
Let's go with that. Let's.
And it's 1 inch long, a half inch long.
Half an inch long, yep. So just to your spec.
Beautiful. So you
have the flag out there, 188. So
12 yards more than the 175 with the 7.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. We have draw setup, draw release to the right edge, 3 out of 10 in effort. Oh, love the weight.
Now, I'm over the moon to see that curve that much, because the whole point of going here was that we thought we didn't have to curve it that much. So
190.
Okay.
Don't 2 yards off.
Yeah, toe a little bit down dynamically.
But you did make it flatter just as a. He did sneak that in.
Yeah.
So you wanted to see some toe down stuff from me, right?
Just a little bit.
We finally have it. I was getting worried myself. So one more?
Yeah.
Just a fraction off. Should be a good miss.
Yeah, pretty good miss. One bouncing up to the flag.
There we go. Okay.
That certainly is a good miss. Okay, let's do one more.
Okay, 179.
Okay.
Good release.
So from the work we've done together, we've seen that as occasionally we get a really well struck shot.
Yeah.
Couldn't hit it more centered, but this was right in the heart of the golf club, and we just overcook it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we miss it left side, and we're going to have to get up and down. So let's see if that's something we can eliminate.
Yeah, I did notice that too, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So now you're putting me into a tour shaft only. You can only find this for the tour guys, right?
Yes.
And here, right?
So any dealers that have a custom shop like ourselves will have access to certain products that aren't in the market.
So this is a Dynamic Gold X7.
X7. It'll feel quite significantly different. I'll tell you the story behind it
Okay.
afterwards.
Well,
Don't influence
yeah, I can
anything.
already feel. And it's in an X flex.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's a lot less curvature. Oh my.
Okay. Interesting.
He's smirking behind there. That's like, okay.
All right, let's see another couple. How did that feel? Because how long have you played that same shaft?
Forever.
Forever. I mean, that shaft's been out for over 25 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've probably played that 20 of them. Would that be fair?
I'd say 25 of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
I was.
So this is a big.
I don't
thing to
remember.
change.
I don't remember any other shaft.
Okay.
So
Cut
that was
one
just
a little heavy.
That's all right. I released a little bit at the ball there.
Okay.
So, but I didn't get the jump in distance though, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah, little straight draw.
Interesting.
So,
Whether we wanted it or not, it's actually we've jumped up a little bit in terms of your distance. Not that I really wanted that, in all honesty.
right. But I mean, if I have the same shaft throughout the set,
Yeah.
it's going to be pretty consistent, right?
Yeah, exactly. This was going with a slightly different shaft, Sean, was all about just controlling the curvature.
Yeah. It's definitely a straighter shot. I'll do one more.
Okay.
See, even the loose one
Yeah.
is tighter.
So I'm going to try another couple. So
Okay.
a couple of different things that we want to just poke and prod and test weight. We want to test a few other different variables that go into the iron fitting.
And that was about 10 grams lighter?
That was actually heavier.
It was.
It was actually
right.
heavier. So the X7 is a beefed up X100.
Okay.
So it is a full flex stiffer in the butt section and 2 flexes stiffer in the tip section than an X100. So it was quite a jump in flex for you.
Right.
Most people give us the feedback that it doesn't feel that stiff. It doesn't
Right.
feel
Well,
like
yeah.
it's that much stiffer than an X100.
At least you can still feel it load.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the, you know.
So
And
let's,
this is
the new Dynamic Gold 120 X100.
okay.
There are
Oh, so it's an X100 but in a 120 gram.
exactly.
Okay, so I thought that this was the one you were giving me before. I didn't realize that there was another one.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's-
okay. Now that. So it was heavier, stiffer, and I was going longer.
Yeah.
I just, man, I tell you, you just.
Oh, that looks good.
Whoa, yeah. Wow.
Okay.
So that's the 195, and it had some 193. That's what we're looking for, right? 192, 193.
Right. That's well.
I can't hit it much better than
Yeah.
that.
No. Absolutely. But in terms of the amount of curvature, that's just about perfect.
Right. So this shaft has only existed for how long?
It's just came out this year.
How about that? Just for me. Yeah, that's my slight miss. Wow.
Yeah. Really good.
Wow, now I'm actually staying on the green.
Really good. Okay. 2 more.
Yeah. Is it still toe down?
Fractionally. Yep.
Okay. Felt a little movement in the head there. May need a little tightener. Again, look at that.
So for golfers who
190, 186.
over curve the ball,
Yeah.
at times the logic could be to go heavier, go stiffer, to create less curve.
Right.
What I tend to find is a golfer that has a club that's traveling a little too much from the inside, the more mass we give them can make that worse.
Exactly.
Because the head,
because it lags more
the
from
mass
the inside.
stays behind you too much.
Right.
So that face to path discrepancy just gets wider.
Yeah.
So when I thought of this shaft for you, when we were kind of chit chatting about some, stuff that would work a little better and going maybe a fraction lighter, but jumping up in stiffness a little bit, that was my thinking, that the club wouldn't be tracking from as far behind, and then the face wouldn't have to catch up as much.
Right.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I mean, it's I tend to load nicely, right?
You do, yeah.
So should we try?
What do you want to try? You want to try some different shapes?
We would just try a little fade. So this is the shaft that you'd recommend then?
This is the one that I had in mind when we were talking about a shaft that might work a little better for you.
Because I can still, it's heavy enough where I can still feel it tracking nicely.
Yep.
But I feel a little bit more of the head.
Okay.
So looks like the fade, I haven't lost any.
190.
94, 86. So would you say fade versus draw? I typically tell my students that for the long irons, I won't lose much. Mid irons, I'll lose maybe a half club.
Yeah, it's about half a club of difference for the most part is what we would see on average.
More of a full club with the short irons?
Well, when we're looking at different players, there's so many different variables that everyone presents.
Right.
And you're exactly half a club between your draw and your fade.
There. At least that was a good pass, just a little more.
Yeah. So you just took a little more off it.
So 184 carry. So you would say that the lie we should bring the lie back a little bit?
Based on what we're seeing on their dynamically.
So now we're three toe down there.
We're starting to get a little bit toe down. So
okay.
Let's nudge that back up a little bit.
Okay.
And then go to a little bit more of a stock shot again.
Okay.
Then we can play with some curves.
Sounds good.
What did it feel like?
It's definitely a different feel than the S300. Even though I feel a little more of the club head, the shaft feels less sloppy. And you're right.
A little more stability.
There's a little sloppiness to that S300, especially if it's a little longer than standard, right?
Definitely.
So because I have a half-inch longer on the S300, it's actually not a stiff comparison anymore. Like you compare it to a 5.5 in a rifle shaft, and with that extra length, it's actually below that 5.5.
And for the viewers watching who are aware of what the rifle scale is, and they may have kind of heard some of those sort of frequency numbers being banded around before.
Yeah.
One of the reasons an X100 falls into a lower category of flex on the rifle scale is because this shaft was never designed to be on the rifle scale. So it's a more butt soft, more tip stiff shaft.
Right.
So any of the shafts that were designed by, Dr. Kim Braley were always designed with frequency in mind. So that was all about, having a butt stiffness that was sort of incremental. So, 6.5 being the X, 6.0 being the slightly heavier stiff.
Right, like a tour stiff.
Yeah, that type of thing. Then the 5.5 being your regular stiff, and then so on and so forth. So the dynamic gold shaft was never designed with frequency in mind. So that's why.
Because it didn't exist at the time.
Well, it actually did. It was another company. So Kim Braley and his father were making rifle shafts, and True Temper were making their stepped, dynamic gold range.
Right.
So just a different process. Okay, so we've moved that a little more upright again.
Ah, there we go.
So you'll probably look a little more familiar.
Yes.
Okay.
So back to a wee draw.
Yeah, let's go back to that little stock draw.
And this is still the X100 120 gram.
Yep, and I've got one more shaft I want to throw in the mix here as well.
Okay. Soft little wee draw. Come on. 190.
Okay, our dynamic lie angle is
0.3.
Yeah.
How about that?
pretty close.
All right. And that would be too flat.
Well, the interesting thing is I only moved that 1.5 degrees, but made 3 degrees of change to the actual dynamic loft, which is very interesting. Your golf club and most people's golf clubs.
See, and that's the thing. People think that we're robots as human beings, right? And so you changed the 1.5 degrees.
But made 3 degrees of difference.
But it made 3 degrees of... What? This is why we need this. You can't go and buy clubs without doing this.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's too many variables to factor in.
Oh my goodness.
It's like a Rubik's Cube. You move one thing and 5 other things happen.
Can you see the steam coming out of these ears, folks? Holy moly. Another good little swing there. All right. So, I mean, it really took out a lot of the spin. 192.
Beautiful, dynamics good. Everything's looking in shape.
Spin's looking good.
Yep. Let's hit 2 more.
I'm okay. I'm actually starting to warm up to this shaft. It does feel less slop. It feels a lot more with me.
Yep. Your timing should just be, a little bit more in sync with this shaft.
I remember that would have been a lot less curved than what I expected there. That went right over the flag.
Yeah. That was excellent.
Wow.
Okay, so let's throw in.
And this last one is?
So this is just the regular X100 Tour issue. So the first one we tried was called the Dynamic Gold X7.
Yeah.
Which was a stiffer version of this, where we said it was a beefed up X100.
Yeah, we did S400 first.
We done your S400 first, then we done X7.
Yeah.
Then we done the Dynamic Gold Tour issue 120 X100, which right now we would probably say is the leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah, it is.
In terms of
what
we've tried.
You know what? I mean, at age 52, I was thinking about maybe my shaft's a little too heavy now.
When Dynamic Gold came out with True Temper came out with the super light version of the Dynamic Gold range, the 110 gram version.
Yeah, I couldn't hit that one.
That was designed for people who play over length clubs. Right. So that probably felt too light for you.
Yeah,
so that was too big of a drop.
Yeah.
To drop 21 grams was too much.
Yeah.
So this is that 120 that we were doing well with is the middle ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's try this one, X100. So this is very similar in weight to yours, just a little bit more stable.
Just more stable. And you found that in your testing, the X100 has a lot more consistent tolerances.
The Tour issue range, yeah.
The Tour issue range.
Okay.
Yeah. This is more of a weight I'm familiar with, but definitely stiffer. Oh, I feel it's
feel at
being,
home?
Yeah, it put some strain on my left thumb in the transition. So either I hit the gym 2 hours a day or I go to the 120. You guys know what that's going to be. Good swing there. Like you said, huh? That extra weight.
Slightly heavier weight just gives us a little bit more curvature.
Yeah. Man, it's funny. It's like go stiffer and I'm going further.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, isn't that like shattering?
Yeah, and that's one of those, there's probably, we could write a book on club fitting myths, and one is the softer shaft goes further. That's a complete myth.
That's a myth.
Yeah, complete myth.
Because you're losing energy.
Energy can be created in so many ways. I mean, there's people who swing stiffer shafts and get the shaft to work in lead deflection, some less so.
Right.
It's all dependent on the player. Okay, good time to segue back into the Dynamic Gold 120 because we've just overcooked to the exact shot we're trying to eliminate.
Yeah.
We've almost brought it back even more.
5 yards. It's like 5 yards more.
Yeah.
Like I'm almost a half club longer with that shaft.
Face is getting too closed.
Okay. Ah, yes. Okay. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm actually warming up to what you said. I'm coming out of my stupor. Oh, yeah. I just the way it's releasing.
So that it just doesn't, we don't lose it off the left side of the green.
Off the what?
Off the left side of the green. I mean, that one's flying through the green.
Exactly. I mean, my tolerances are way tighter. It's and it's just like the feel during the whole swing is like my body is counterbalancing a little differently. What was carry on that?
91.
191. So isn't that what they say? Distance control is king, right?
Okay, when it comes to the
irons, pin high all day, that's.
If you want to hit it further, take an extra club.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, that's such a manageable miss. It's not the same miss as
Yeah.
in the heavier shafts.
So 192.
Yeah. Okay, let's hit one more. But you feel a little more comfortable. You're getting used to this one now.
Yeah, right away. Yeah, I can. My brain is already telling me, hey, listen, this is this'll do.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
So now they're like.
So they're all within the boundaries of the green. So we're not getting that one we were missing out. Greenside bunker, might be a little bit of trouble back left, because when we were getting that face rotating too much, we were creating too much ball speed because we were de-lofting it too much.
And for obviously for our gang at Wisdom in Golf, to speak the lingo, I feel I'm able to throw this club more easily, but without sacrificing the feel of the ball on a string, the feel of how it's tracking the arc, which, it represents itself really nicely on as far as the dispersion.
Yeah, no, that was going to be the key, was trying to regulate your distances a little bit more.
So I guess I'll be sending my clubs back to Ping for. Do they have this in stock at Ping?
They should do. They should do. The department that look after you, I'm sure, will have that one. It's a new one.
We'll have a little chat otherwise.
We'll have a chat. Well, that's another sort of part of the process. When we brought this shaft in, and we had such great success with it from the fitting perspective, When our builders got hold of it, they said it was one of the best shafts they ever built with from a tolerance standpoint.
Right.
The frequencies were all in line.
Right.
The weights were all perfectly within a decimal point of a gram each way.
So for a company like Ping, wouldn't they be interested because of the amount of clubs that they pump out on a daily basis?
No question.
They'd be way more interested in using a shaft like this.
Yeah. Yeah, this one will be more and more popular in the years to come. The 120 iron sort of category is growing.
Yeah.
So the Nippon Modus 120 has been very popular. Project X 6.0, which is 120 grams, very popular. So this is just an extension into an ever-growing part of the iron sort of market.
Ian, I can't thank you enough, man. You really opened my eyes.
Anytime.
All the best. See you later, guys.